Don't read words.
Well, I think we're there. I think we're online. I think we are. We never know with these things.
Dark magic. It's dark magic.
Right,
Same
everybody.
on my screen.
Right. Well, hello everyone. Welcome. This is Ted from eModels, emodels.co.uk, and welcome tonight to the live stream as we try and find you all, as we usually do, because it just needs a screen to refresh on the chat. We have a special guest with us tonight, but fortunately only in sound only. We have the I forgot what he's called. Hang on. Tony Fairclough, Tony Fairclough, Elegant 35, who is also another one of your eModels builders. He's currently working on a great project, the Attack-On 1/35th scale Chieftain tank. So, good evening to you, Tony. Can you hear us? It's a bit like
Can you hear me?
It's a bit like one of these Eurovision Song Contest voting things, isn't it? Hello, Bermuda. Can you hear us?
Nul point.
Sweden calling London. Sweden calling London. Can you hear me, London?
Nil point.
Nil point. How are we?
Hi.
Hey, Tony.
Hi, Tony. It's great to see you. I realise, we all realise that you've been working hard.
Yes.
Hence, you have been a little bit of an absence lately, but it's great to have you back. And so, tell us online. Tell us what you've been up to.
I'm going to have to get this out of the way before I do anything. Hey, yo, it's Tony for eModels.co.uk. Welcome to the live stream. Let's do it.
Is that professional?
Let's do it. Yeah, it's literally been stuck in work and then coming home and then doing Tony things and being extremely busy and then going back to work again. So it's kind of rubbish. I'm fiddling about on the camera at the same time and trying to do running repairs. It's like the Millennium Falcon. It's great. But, yeah, we're cracking on with the tackle.
That was my Wookiee impression. Sorry, I'm trying to get into the chat so I can say that to everybody.
Trying to get into the chat. Yeah. So
we're beavering away with the Tackham. There we go. Oh,
no
I think I fixed it.
Hang on
It's a terrible angle, I'm afraid. I see my boiler in the background. Hi, Mum.
We can see your nostrils.
So it's a bit shonky. I'm using the backup camera instead of a normal one. There we go. So yeah, beavering away with the Tackham 1/35th scale Chieftain Mark 10. Literally just finished doing all the wheels and the suspension and nearly pulled the undercarriage then on the lower hull. Oh my word! There's a million parts for the wheels. It's shocking.
So yeah,
I've got to do all the tracks yet.
I did the Tamiya one quite a while ago. That's this one. Basically the same thing, same size, but the Tack-On has got bags more detail.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of detail on there.
There's a lot of detail. I believe that the Tack-On one is more accurate than the Tamiya one.
Yeah.
I think the Tamiya one is a Mark 11, but people are saying it's actually not a Mark 11 because X is missing and Y is missing.
Yeah.
So that's what's happened there. So is it going all right? Are you going to do it in the Berlin colours?
Yes, I am.
Good.
Yes. Apparently there is a aftermarket set for that, a masking set. I was looking at it before. It cost $21 to buy the set in the first place, and then $21 for postage and packaging. So you're looking at $42 for a bunch of mask sets that I can do with squares for Tamiya tape. So yeah, I'm not doing that. So yeah, we'll be doing the Berlin scheme. I've been told as well there's got to be clean. I'm not allowed to dirty it up.
Why are you not allowed to? Who told you can't dirty it up?
Yeah.
Oh, my uncle.
Straight
away. Because he was in Germany at the time with the army. He's like, no. None of this weathering nonsense. Everything was pristine. There was more cleanliness in Germany than there was back here in the UK back then.
Well, the thing is, they didn't have a lot of fighting to do, did they? So all they really did was just kept everything looking clean.
Yeah, it was more of a show of force and stop them getting bored. That's why they kept doing all the clean stuff.
Whether it is a bit of concrete dust or something like that, just if it's been rattling down the streets.
I'm still trying to get into the chat, guys. Like my apologies.
Yeah, I can't pick up the chat either, but we will get there. We'll find us all. We've got 27 viewers in this evening. I suppose we should. We've introduced Tony, and the other one, obviously, you've seen him all before, and he's busy typing away. Is the amazing Fox Wolf.
Hello, everybody. Hello. I'm trying to get into the chat so I can see the chat, and it's not happening.
It's not happening.
The usual technical shenanigans.
Get the brands.
So we're sort of busy on with it. Got lots of things to do. What we're going to do tonight is usual. We'll have a look round at what's in store.
Yep, that's terrible.
We'll also have a look round at do a sticker giveaway, and also as well we'll do another great giveaway this evening of the eModels mugs.
Yeah, I've got mine.
These are new in stock.
Coffee.
I know we saw them last week. Yeah, I should have it full of beers, but full of tea, not beer.
Mine is missing an essential stroop waffle.
Yeah, they're a perfect size for balancing your stroop waffles on the top.
Yes.
I got Mrs. Brown mug.
Well, no, you see, I won't do that. I get told off for doing that.
Ashford, stop it.
Well, just. Would you like? No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'll get in trouble.
You're tempted.
Pete Mate will tell me off.
Yes.
I do apologise. I'm still trying to get into the stream. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I can't find the chat on the stream tonight. It's maybe as we're both having problems.
Yeah.
We've got 27 viewers. There's got 27 people looking at us.
Well, hello to everybody who's viewing. Apologies, we can't chat and answer your questions just yet. We're kind of. It's the normal way of things for these events.
Yeah.
We should be with you momentarily. Fill the dead air, Ted. Fill the dead air.
Everywhere I go, it tells me that chat is disabled. So
well, I'm trying to get the live stream on eModels site and it's not loading in. I don't know why. Come on.
I really need to get my camera sorted out.
Yeah.
I'm too dark. Hold on, my light's not working. Why's my light? Oh,
do you not get pills for that?
Probably. How's that? No.
We have actually got viewers viewing, haven't we, Ted? We are live.
Yeah, we've got 40 people viewing us. There are people out there. There are seeing us. I do apologise that we can't see the chat. So I think what we probably have to do for the moment is just
wing it.
We'll carry on a chat amongst ourselves. Unfortunately, until we get the chat
I use my telepathetic skills to divine some questions from the audience. Hang on. Bob Johnson is asking, Ted, what's your favourite colour? There you go. Cutting edge questions.
My favourite colour has some varying shades of green in camouflage. I just don't understand it tonight. I do apologise. We can't see whether it's a glitch on.
I found it on my phone.
They found it on your phone. Tony, can you keep us up with chat then? Because I've got the laptop.
Evening all. Hello, it's Ted and Vox. Hello, ladies.
Hello, ladies.
From Michael Snow. Yeah.
So
also we got even to the Vox. He's a hinge.
So I'm on the YouTube page, but I'm not getting the live stream.
Found it.
It's mostly people saying hello so far.
Yeah, I found it. I'm with it now.
Why can't I find it then?
Yeah, I had to go into YouTube and then over to the listings. Yeah.
I just can't find it.
Right, so that's it. Right, I'm repeating myself now because we're on the lag, so I can move it over there and hopefully. No, well, yeah, it's just that when I have to go to when we go to have a look in store, somebody else will have to do the chat for me because I can't find it on my laptop. But never mind, we're here. Right, right. Anyway, hopefully by now you'll have seen the part 3 of the U-boat's been posted. Hopefully you're enjoying that. I do apologise that it is nearly 2 hours long. I just got so carried away with it. I didn't realise that I'd run on so long. But hopefully it's 2 hours. You can play it away in the background while you're doing your own build.
I'm in the chat. I'm in the chat.
Right.
Right,
So, right, let's go to the top. I'll do a run through then, see who are all here. One or two usual faces. Phil East says, good evening all. Alt Boys, so good evening. Alan Kelly.
TK's in. Matthew Birtles.
In, Michael Snow. Scott Sutherland. Stefan. Yep, Stefan tells us we are live. We knew we were live. We just couldn't find anybody.
Yeah, we can't even find ourselves.
We couldn't even find ourselves. Chris Walters, HD Models. Chris here. Thanks for checking out. Oh, that's Chris has sent us some picture of his ship. Chris Henderson. Hi, guys. Trust you both well. Kelly, John Henley says Stephen Tennant Fox. Alt Boys says, yes, the hinge, he must know Tony Fairclough too well. Paul Stewart, Klaus Flugel Schwartz. Yep, he did tell me how to pronounce that, but I've got
Flugel Schwartz.
Flugel Schwartz.
Flugel Schwarz, das ist richtig.
You have to say it in the German accent to make it sound better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In die Deutsche bitte. Die Name ist What was it? Flugel Schwarz. Flugel Schwarz.
Alan Kelly says, TK, if the Blackbird is black, why pre-shade? That's a good point.
Yeah, we can answer that. Well, should we do that as a question for us guys in a bit?
Yeah, go on then. Yeah. What do you pre-shade black?
Okay, well, I'll let Tony answer that one because Tony knows about black things.
I never use black for black.
Nope.
Never. Darkest grey you can find, or lighten a black slightly with some flesh tone type thing just to warm it up a little bit. So you've got like a dirty thing. The best pre-made one is Tamiya Rubber Black.
Yep. Closely
followed by, was it dark grey blue that I used on the Scout Trooper many years ago on the coveralls. Pre-shade with black and then lay that over the top, and then you get a shadow for black. Yep. If you use straight black straight away, you can't shadow black any further than it already is.
Yeah, if you just paint something just black, that's it. The only thing you can add is highlights. You can't put any depth to it. If you do it a slight, very dark grey, like Tony says, although it's not going to be black, it just looks more convincing because you've got light areas and dark areas.
It gives you the illusion there's shadows when there isn't any.
Yeah, because don't forget, when you're making a scale model, you're not necessarily making it look like the real thing shrunk down. There's a certain depth of scale that you have to kind of fudge things a bit, and sometimes making things look not quite as realistic works better in your mind when you see a small version of something. So if you see something shrunk down that's black in real life, it just looks like you've put some matte black on it and that's it. Wouldn't win you any points at competitions, put it that way.
Yes.
So start with a dark grey, and you can highlight and low light from there, you see. Plus black's really boring.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It's a shocking colour.
It's also one of the most horrible colours to paint with. It's not right. So yes, if TK is doing his Blackbird, and if he was here, he could tell you, the idea is if he just paints it black, that's all he can do. But if he paints it a very dark grey, he can put black in the panel lines, he can have areas. If you go and look at a real Blackbird, it's not black, it's very dark grey, and there's light areas where it's been worn away and walked on, and engineers have worked, and it's faded in some parts. The paint fades over time and it goes grey, so go out and look at a real Blackbird if you've got one around the corner, you know, just like you do. If you happen to live near an airfield. Or any old black plane, it won't look black, it'll be shades of greys with very little black. Just makes it more appealing to the eye.
Yeah. Paul Stewart said rubber black is superb. He's using that on his he's using that and NATO black and going on his Jeep. So
yep.
Yeah.
Rubber black is a fantastic colour. I use it a lot for, I can't remember actually. I've not used it for so long that I've forgotten what I used it for. But I used it for something a lot. So that's not helpful.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. That's rattling around the back of my head now.
I used it for the thing with the painting and I can't remember. Thanks for coming. Come again. Try the fish. Bye.
Oh,
Oh no! I've just realised there's an unsheathed knife on my desk.
no, put that away.
Yeah.
That's why I'm putting the sheath on it.
Fox and sharp things.
I'm putting it up there. There's a reason they call me Captain Stabberty.
Yeah, I'm Captain Billy Joe, Captain Stabberty.
Yeah.
So Alan Kelly says there's no question from him this week. Well, thank you, Alan. You have been very good at providing.
That's not a very good question.
Yeah. Yeah. His question is, why isn't there a question from him this week?
If he was Australian, it would be a question because he's like, "There's no question for me this week." That was my rubbish Australian accent. Oh no!
I thought you were doing
that's
Scouts.
Kiwi.
Hey?
Hey?
I thought you were doing Scouts.
Right.
Nah, Welsh.
Oh, lovely.
There's lovely.
Do you realise how spooky it is each week when we do these live streams? That Mike Mountain has said he's just pre-ordered the FV432.
That's twice he's done that now.
That's twice. I think he got tapped into our live stream, into our computers. He's sat at home spying on us. Does he work for the CIA?
Is he tapped in before we actually go live? Because this is going to be the second time I think he's done this now.
Yeah. So we'll have a look at that in the what's in store shortly.
I have to say a big thank you to Mike Mountain, but I can't say why on this particular stream. But I have to say a big thank you to Mike Mountain, and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, so we'll be having a look at that shortly, Mike. Thank you very much for bringing that up.
Yes.
What else? What else have we been doing this week? I can't remember. I've just totally lost track. Yeah, the new job has just wiped my brain. I'm now trying to work out the logistics of working behind a bar. Never done.
This seems like both the best thing in the world and the worst thing in the world. I don't know.
Working behind the bar for a person that doesn't particularly drink, yeah, it's quite difficult. Can I have a whiskey and soda, please? Yes. What glass would you like it in?
Yeah. Yes. What does glass would you like it in? And
does that come in a pint glass? Yeah. Some people have been quite pleased when they've walked away with a pint of whiskey this week.
pint of vodka. Best wage you ever had that I don't remember. They charged me £1.25.
Yeah. Pint of whiskey, £1.25, please.
Yeah, a pint of 35-year-old double malt, £1.20. I'll be coming back. 5 stars on Yelp.
I've got my t-shirt on tonight in I was been thinking of TK, so I thought I'd put my Viking t-shirt on.
Yes, I decided.
It does say Norway, but as it is a Viking anyway. So,
seeing as I got told off for my terrible shirt last week, I've decided to wear another terrible shirt this week. And I kind of realised that I'm kind of rocking this 1970s New York vibe with the funky hat and the bad shirt. If I had flares on, I could be walking down the street in New York.
Yeah, swinging the flares.
Yeah, I feel like I should be like walking around the set of Hill Street Blues or doing something.
Oh, I've got a theme tune.
Alan Kelly said he's got his eModels mug and it's taking pride of place on his desk. There, thank you.
Good man.
Keep it hot.
Using it for his brush wash then.
Yeah. Yeah. You've got to keep your eModels mug hot.
Yes.
There's always got to be something in it, unlike this one, which could have a pint of whiskey in it by the end of the day.
Yes. Handy tip: don't have 2 eModels mugs. Don't have one for your brush wash and one for your coffee, because you know how that's going to end.
Yeah.
I've done that. I had 2 mugs, one for coffee and one for brush wash, and they're identical. Yeah, that happened many times until I realised I shouldn't use that mug.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Yep.
Yeah. Carl's in this evening making models. Good evening to Carl. He said, "Is that Tony? How do, matey?"
Alan Kelly says, "My wife has a duster like Fox's shirt. Lol." I like looking terribly dressed because but what you haven't seen is I've got the combat shorts on as well. So it just gets even worse.
Shorts at this time of year. Are you like the postman?
And my sneakers.
Start wearing. Do you start wearing shorts about September and wear them right through to March?
Well,
like the postmen do.
The thing is, I'm half Scottish and half Irish, so I'm used to cold. But on the other hand, I'm also a complete nesh, so. Now, as soon as I can wear shorts, I will, but it's like this time of year. So.
Yeah, we got issued some shorts for work, but unfortunately my legs ain't made for shorts. So,
can they not give you some kind of Eric Morecambe shorts that go halfway down to the knees? As my dad used to call them, Eric Morecambe shorts.
Pull the white socks up all the way to the knees, so it's that much skin.
Pair of sandals.
Zachney Colombo? Is that Zachary says, I don't understand how Fox and Ted can't paint with Tamiya. If I could only edit video and show them how. Zach, yeah, I think we have mentioned this a couple of times about painting with Tamiya. It can be done.
Yeah, you can paint with them.
Yeah, some people paint really successfully with it, but I think really but particularly for brush painting, me and Fox just can't get to grips with it.
I think the thing is with Tamiya paints is twofold. One, they're lacquer paints. Technically, they're not acrylics because they're alcohol based. They're more like lacquers than acrylics, but because they're alcohol based, they skin over very quickly. Yeah. So if you brush paint on and then go back over that area, like say you brush over it and then without letting it dry, it'll ball up and make little clumps. That's one thing. You can brush paint with them. It's just you have to get the thinning ratio kind of exactly right, and it's a lot of faff. And it is possible to do it, but if I've got the choice between brush painting with the Tamiya acrylics or brush painting with like Vallejo or MIG or Citadel or something like that are water based and can be manipulated a lot more, I'll go for those because it's easier. But the other thing is, of course, if you make a wet palette, you can't use Tamiya paints on a wet palette because they're not water based. So once they dry out, you can use a solid palette. Once they dry out, they dry out. If I use a water-based acrylic on a wet palette, which I've got here that I made, I did a little video on how to do a wet palette.
I've got one as well. I've made my own today, and they're pretty darn good.
Yeah,
it is. A bit of car sponge in the bottom of mine with some just kitchen cloth on the top. And you see today's painting. I've been painting some figures, and it's really good for blending your colours.
Yeah. Well, this wet palette I've got here is just sandwich tub with some kitchen roll soaked and a bit of the parchment paper. The paint that's on there has been on there for 3 days. I can still use it because I keep that's been on there for about 3 days. I can still paint with it because it's water based, and I keep this in the fridge. You can't do that with Tamiya acrylics. But the thing to bear in mind with Tamiya acrylics is they're not actually designed as brush paints. They're designed ideally for airbrushing. So they're better suited. You can brush paint with them, and a lot of people can, but it's like saying I could walk to the shops around the corner, which would take me 10 minutes, but I'd much rather just get in the car and spend 25 seconds driving because it's a lot less effort, and I'm lazy. So you can brush paint with them, it's just I find it easier with other paints.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, but I've been using this one today. I've been doing some figure painting. I don't know if you can see the little chap, his head there. It's probably blending in too much. But yeah, it's come out brilliantly. It's like blending almost with oils. I know Tony's a master of blending figures with oils, and I've yet to try that yet, which I'm going to do because I found myself a resin kit. It's the Despicable Me guy, which I bought at Telford last year. So yeah, I'm gonna have a go at this, Tony. It's nice and big. See him in there. It's quite big.
Oh, I could have some fun with that.
It's a glue, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, Tony and I have been talking recently because I've just got into my Warhammer stuff, as everybody knows. And I was saying to Tony a few weeks ago, like when it gets nice weather, because Tony and I don't live too far apart. Tony used to do the miniature painting, so when it gets nice weather, you know, we'll get together and hang out in my back garden in the sunshine and just like paint some little figures or miniatures and just for a few hours, just for fun. Because Tony can probably teach me a few things about the figure paintings.
Probably not. It's been a long time ago since I last did that, and you know my memory.
Yeah.
Looks like lightning, one flash and it's gone.
Well, you again, what?
What?
Yeah. It's a pity we can't all get together and do a live demonstration somewhere, which would be really good. But it's unfortunately that's not the way it works. But
I mean, if I could find somewhere to put the camera outside, I could do something from my garden with the wood pigeons, that the dumbest creatures in all of God's creation, because I like having them in the background. And Carl says that we've got our wet palettes upside down. The sponge should go on the lid. Ideally, what we should have is one that's half as tall. But Tesco's didn't have any half-size sandwich tubs; they just had that. So I'll get a smaller one.
What I did with mine, I built mine up with the sponge so that there's less airspace in the top, and the sponge acts like a wick. Just having a sponge just means that you don't have to re-wet it as often. It'll just wick up, or you could just turn it upside down. And there goes. But yeah, if you look around on YouTube, there's lots of people doing lots of different ways.
I did do a wet palette video for my channel, but what I might do is record a new one just for the eModels channel.
Yeah.
Just say how to make a wet palette, and then they've got it for this channel then.
That's brilliant. But I've been using the flesh paint set from eModels.
Flesh. You like your flesh tones, don't you, Ted?
Blend seamlessly. I did think of using some oils, but these figures are really too small for blending with oils. But I'm going to give that a go under Tony's guidance. I shall be pestering Tony.
Yeah, Sergeant Bone says, remember, always thin your paints. Duncan said that right. And it's, always thin your paints, 2 thin coats.
Yeah, 2 thin coats.
Or rather, always thin your paints and, well, 2 thin coats. So you don't clog the details.
Right. What else? Right. So we're ready for everybody's questions this evening. I did have a question. I think.
Excellent.
Although, actually, it was really directed towards myself. David Hunter, who can't be with us tonight because he's jetting himself away to Dubai for a holiday.
I think he'll be most of the way there now, won't he?
Yeah, didn't bother to tell us that he was going, and would we like to go with him?
Yeah,
no.
Didn't offer to secrete us in his personal luggage. I can count as carry on. I'm not tall. I'm not big. I'm not fat.
Didn't offer him a free ticket for all the free advice. And he just jets off and doesn't.
Kids today, they're just ingrates. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now good luck to him.
Yeah.
Dubai.
What would you do in Dubai? I mean, I know obviously where Dubai is and what is.
Get sunburn.
Apart from sunburn, what do you do? What is it to
sunburn.
do in Dubai? What's the big attraction?
Tall buildings, really, really tall buildings.
Yeah, lots of money and huge highways. You couldn't.
Do you know what it will be? There's lots and lots of sports cars out there.
Yeah, that's true. I was going to say,
He loves his sports cars, doesn't he?
I was going to say that everybody else being rich isn't really a lure for me to go somewhere.
Yeah, because he'll be able to see his Lamborghinis firsthand because he likes them.
Well, they all have they have Veyron police cars and stuff.
Yeah, it'd be chipping off paint samples. It'd be taking his penknife out and taking paint samples off.
Just for research.
Paint chips, just for research, just for the.
Oh, you stuck on us there, Ted.
Pup, who often sends in a question, but thank you very much. And it's. I think Tony could answer this one. What's your best and worst kits with regard to building quality? And immediately springs to mind is Haroldite the Wonder Horse.
Haroldite the Wonder Horse. Oh my word! I don't know if it was just that one kit or whether it's the range in general or it's the. I can't remember who makes it. I think it's Trumpeter. But they've kitted out the mould far too early before it's set in the mould. So as it's come out and it's bananaed away from each other, the 2 fuselage halves of the horse.
It's a banana horse.
It's a banana horse. It's shocking. Absolutely shocking. So you glue the front end where the neck is, like that, but then the backside would be doing that away. If you glue the backside, the neck was doing that. So it's... So
like a banana horse.
Yeah.
So have you actually finally solved the problem of the big...
Yeah, eventually.
I was going to say it was going to sound a little bit rude then, but
I know where you going with that.
I'll say it. There is a video series coming for it, but I've been messing about with it for 2 years now, nearly 2 years. And it's just one of those. Every time you pick it up, you're like, ugh, and then you put it back down again, and but eventually I will upload that to my channel.
So
and show you how I dealt with it. But it's about 4 days to get all the seams sorted out. Evil.
So have you any other regards? The question was, what are your best and worst kits with regards to build quality? Example: sprue layout, flash fittings, issues, material types, decals, or anything else that you consider relevant. Personally, no. It's just the odd kit. I don't think sprue layouts anything in particular. I think everybody's got their own way of doing it.
Yeah. I've got a worst kit, but I'll let you finish yours first.
Yeah. But no. I think some of the earlier Airfix kits, I think that we all grew up on, where we probably didn't know any better. But now, when we look back, we think, yeah, they were really rubbish. And you see the newer, sort of better produced kits coming through. Tacom, the one you're building now, Tony, you'll probably find that is fantastic.
It is. The detail in it is beautiful. Really is. It's like it's it's almost like it's been printed, but it's not. You can tell it's been injection molded, but the details in there. Oh my word! It's almost like Bandai level quality for detail. It really is.
I can give you my worst kit, but before I do, Sergeant Bo says, "Not meaning to brew, but can the fellow with the glasses and the 5 o'clock shadow move his camera back?" To which TK says,
Nope.
"He can't move it back. He's probably naked behind it."
No, I am clothed. I am. Look, I'm
Yes.
wearing t-shirts, but no, this is the only position I can have this camera in. My regular camera's broken, but
This is a last minute replacement.
this is last minute.
Yeah.
Literally, I've literally just finished doing the wheels on the Tacom straight into here, so I've not had any time to prepare any proper angles. or
Don't worry, it's better than having no picture at all.
Yeah, it's good to see it up.
Worst kit. Airfix Junkers JU52. I made one when I was a young kid, and it was the one with it's the big long ribbed one with the floats. You can put the floats
Yes,
on it.
I know what you mean.
Quite a long wingspan. It's a great plane. And I made that when I was much younger. It was one of the first kits I painted. And I saw it in, I can't remember where I was. I might have been at Telford. I can't remember. Anyway, I saw it and I bought it. It was only like 10 quid. So I bought it. Oh, make that, because I remember that when I was a kid. I got it out of the box, and I swear, it was this horrible plastic. It was covered in flash everywhere. The canopy was a single clear piece with the most ill-defined canopy frame that you couldn't mask off if you tried, and it wasn't actually clear. It was kind of frosted.
Yeah.
It was such a bad print, and I was like, that's going straight into my Greebly box as just parts for Greebles and tests. So it's now, I think one of the wings is now test pig for spraying, and yeah, I didn't even get past taking parts off sprues. So that's the worst kit. Best kit, I don't know. There's been so many.
I think for the best kit, I wouldn't be able to say really, because every kit the next kit is always the best kit.
Yeah.
Because you build one and then you build, you the next one, you think, yeah, this is the best kit I've ever had. And then the next one's the best kit I've ever had. So I couldn't really say which was the best kit.
It's difficult to say, because whenever you finish a model, it's the best thing in the world till about 6 months later when it's complete rubbish. You look at it 6 months later and go, God, that's terrible. I can do better than that.
Yeah.
So, but best kit is anything I've made recently, basically. But that's the worst kit. And that must be an old 30 or 40-year-old kit. So that's why it's only like 7 or 8 quid. I think it was. So I thought, well, I'm not going to complain for 7 or 8 quid. It's not like it's like their old back catalogue. They're just selling it cheaper for kids learning, and it's fine if you're just somebody learning. But I was like, yeah, I'm not making that. It was this weird, horrible silver metal that was like, it wasn't right.
There's one or two in the chat who said about sort of horrible kits that they've had. Tony Blackwell said Airfix need to retire some of their kits. Yeah, they probably do, but unlike most of the other call them elderly manufacturers, the old-time manufacturers, Revell and everybody else, yeah, a lot of them have got a big back catalogue that really does need to be retired. But if they just retired them straight away, they wouldn't have anything to sell.
Yeah, I think Airfix would have about 10 kits of their modern, because they don't release new toolings that often.
No.
Because nowadays they take their time with them, and they do like the 1/48 scale planes and stuff, like your Tiffy and things like that, which are incredible kits.
Yeah.
But they can't really just, because the thing with Airfix is, although they do kits like that, which are for the mature, experienced modelers and the professionals, the beauty of their kits is, in a lot of ways, the cheapy chips ones that are like sub £10, they're perfect for beginners.
Yeah.
And you get your little fighter planes, the little old 172 fighter planes you get. I saw the other day, it was a Triumph Herald. It's like, really? So there's a model of a Triumph Herald. I mean, talk about not a big seller. So they do the little, and they're just like, you go into see them on the shelves and they're like a £5, 10 quid.
Yeah.
And it's like, they cater to that market of people that want a model kit, but it's maybe for their kid. So there is that tradition in the UK, at least, that we grew up on Airfix kits, so they're still there, and they will. I'm sure they will fade them out of age eventually.
Yeah.
But like Ted says, if they got rid of them all, you'd have like 5 kits.
Yeah. Oak Boys said Matchbox two-tone kits. They were the days. So I remember that.
God, yeah.
Something in the back of my mind. Two-tone kits. Yeah, you just whacked them together and flew them around your garden and shot at them with your air gun.
Yes.
Philly says he spent 2 hours scraping flash off a Revell Trans Am kit. Well, you said Revell, so there's your problem right there.
Although
Tony Blackwell says he's got the Triumph Herald in his stash.
Me.
Yeah, that's pretty good. It's a wonder that the Triumph Herald isn't actually a popular kit now because of Harry Potter. I suppose they could all paint it. Is it
See,
blue?
I never thought of that because I don't watch such nonsense. I'm not a
No.
Harry Potter. I've seen the films, but I'm watching them going, yeah, this is rubbish. There's no spaceships.
No spaceships or ray guns.
Ray guns. Wow, welcome to 1958. You're watching this live broadcast live on your Interrositor.
Yeah, I just had the sound effect then. You know, remember War of the Worlds, the original 50s one?
What the kind of yeah.
Yeah, that noises for the lasers. I just had that.
Well, the thing is, I've been watching Space 1999 for the last couple of weeks, just in researching for the Eagle, obviously. And they've got that sound effect that Jerry Anderson always used, that kind of noise. So that's in my head at the minute.
Brilliant.
It's like, it doesn't matter what the series was, it always had that sound effect in somewhere.
But beyond hopes, the kits that we just discussed says he's a cheapy ass modeler, and those are kits that he lives with. Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, you look at. I mean, I know I kind of harp on about Revell a lot, and you know, Revell do make good kits. I kind of do it jokingly, but you know, you look at some of the older kits, and some of the older kits you still get are terrible, but there's a potential there to put a lot of work in to make them really awesome.
Yeah.
The reality is, though, for most of us, like me and Ted and Tony and all the others, we probably have the skills to do that. We just don't have the time to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that could put a lot of potential modelers off when they get a kit and they think, right, I'm going to start model making, and they pick up something like that's not too good a kit, and they put it together, and there's big holes in it, and wings don't fit or wheels don't fit, and it puts them off.
I think there are a lot of people, because it's I found with model making it's the same as with drawing, because I did cartoons and stuff many years ago. When you're actually doing the thing, you can see all the flaws, but for most people, they don't see that because they're not, say, as experienced. Without blowing our own trumpets, you know, they're not doing it like we're doing it. A lot of people are just getting the model together, putting it together, painting it the best they can, and they think it's brilliant, and that's fine, that's brilliant. So they wouldn't necessarily think, oh, there's a massive panel gap there, because they're not sort of trained to see that like we are. They're not trained to see a flaw in a model like that. They, you know, there's people like when I was younger, I used to make the models. I made model cars, and I thought they were brilliant. And look, if I looked at them now, I'd probably be like, oh, gee, what? But so there's a lot of people that just, you know, stay at that level, just build it for fun, and don't get as intense with us. So there's a big place for those kind of model kits, and there always will be. It's just I think we look at them from our point of view as more advanced models and think, oh god, that's terrible. But of course, you have to remember there's people to whom that'll be absolutely fine. That's why they still sell. And like I said, with the Airfix ones, they're like a tenner. Yeah. You can't grumble at a kit for a tenner. Like I said,
perfect for practicing them.
Yeah, and like I said, we probably have between us, we have the skills to make amazing things out of those. We just don't have the time. Unfortunately, you know, we all run our own YouTube channels. We can't take a few weeks out to make this terrible kit good, because it's just too intensive. So and it'd be really boring to film. So
That's say though, the most fun I had with the Revell kit was a couple of years ago. I think it was the ME109 G6. I think it was. The undercarriage collapsed completely when you put it down. It's 132 scale. The second I put it upright, it had been upside down for a couple of days drying, and it just went like that. So I ended up having to replace that with the pewter set that the party, I can't remember where I got it from. It's off eBay somewhere. And once I got that undercarriage set on, best plane I've ever built. And it was a Revell kit. So it just shows you if you do have that kind of time, because I wasn't doing YouTube back then, I was able to put the effort in, and I made a beautiful kit of it. I'll also post some photos on my Facebook page. But yeah, it was a really good kit.
Yeah, I built the Revell Typhoon, the new Typhoon, the jet version. It was a cracking little kit. It looked the part when it was built. It looked the part, and there was a few issues with it, but they weren't sort of beyond anybody's particular skills to put it right. And it looked the part when it was on the bench. But there was just millions of decals. Revell seems to do that. Millions of high quality decals. One thing I would say for Revell is a fantastic thing.
They do decals. Really good decals. They're kind of sometimes the Revell decals are on par with Cartograph, and that's kind of saying a heck of a lot. Frankie Goes to Hobbywood, apart from having an awesome name, and I've lost the comment now because something just scrolled. He says, right, if you can stop typing, guys, for a minute, because it keeps scrolling for me. No, don't stop typing. He says, for me as a beginner, the smaller Airfix kits are not too bad. They're not so expensive, and that's okay to get some experience on. That's the thing to remember.
Perfect.
We might sort of bitch about some of these cheaper kits, but again, it's from our point of view, because we've all got decades of experience building these things. But that's the thing for people like Frankie there, they're perfect because he can learn techniques without spending a fortune on a 70 or 80 or 90 pound tank kit that he's going to be afraid to mess up. He can get one of these little kits and have fun with it and play with it. And then as he progresses, it then goes off to become a paint mule when he does all the testing. So they have their place, and we might rib them, but we understand.
For a tenner, what you pay what, a £10 to go to the cinema, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And for a tenner, you could have a weekend's fun at your bench and produce something at the end of it, and then gain the experience.
Actually, I can tell the last time you went to Cinematech, because for a tenner now you can get a hot dog at the cinema. And that's just the bun and the hot dog, not the onions.
I think it was what was showing last time I went, Flash Gordon.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah, Flash Gordon, the double deckers. I think it was the ABC Miners.
Oh god, that was in the days of proper Pearl and Dean advert breaks as well. The kiosk is now open for King Gown's toffee poppets, sun-kissed in Kiora.
Yeah, munchies, them little square chocolate munchies. Yeah, you thought you were on a really good day out if you got back by a pack of munchies.
TK says Revell decals are cartograph, so that explains why they're so good. It's because Revell don't make them. That's why they're so good.
There you go.
You see what I did there. No, we do rib on some manufacturers, but it's just because to us they're not really of any interest to us, but we understand that. Obviously, a significant number of you out there, they're perfect. So.
Yeah, and as you said, they could become sort of paint mules in later life, and you can practice your airbrushing or your painting. Fraser Duncan says no. Says Flesh Gordon. No,
I was just about to say that.
It was actually. It was Flash Gordon with that spaceship and the ray guns and the sparks out the back of the spaceship.
The old boy says it is easier to take a good kit and make it bad.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, give me several cans of Guinness and I can make a very good kit very bad.
Tony Bacco says he finds that Revell Aqua Paint is great in an airbrush. I've never actually used it.
Tony, haven't you, Tony?
I've used it for brush painting. I'm using that on the Can I say the Stripe Rouge on here?
Yeah, I talk about Gunpla sometimes.
Yeah, all right. The Stripe Rouge, I'm using that on the inner frame at the moment. The same paints that I bought for, eModels sent me for the T800 build at the back end of last year, was it? It's the exact same paints, and I'm using that for the inner frame. It looks gorgeous. Hello.
Oh, it's all right.
Ted's had an idea. Ted had an idea.
Yeah,
I actually have a confession to make that I actually converted all the sounds on my phone to be all the Space 1999 sounds. I'm so getting into Space 1999 since I'm going to be building this thing for eModels. Hang on, I'll play them. You carry on, Tony. I'll find my sounds.
Yeah. What I'm doing at the moment is I'm dry brushing, brush drying. Hello.
I'm brush drying. Hello.
Brush drying. Dry brushing the inner frame for the Stripe Rouge with the Revell. I think it was silver and aluminium. Oh, it's gorgeous. I'll have to post some photos again.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous. Let me see if I can do that now.
But yeah, here's the sounds on my phone, because I'm getting so into this Space 1999 thing. When I get a text, it does this. All the little sounds.
Brilliant.
No, that's MacGyver. I can't play that. And they're all apparently, because I was looking for like sounds for Space 1999, and some guy had got a load out of some episodes, but they're really bad quality. But I found this guy on YouTube who somehow extracts the sound effects from TV and films, but makes them studio quality, so they're super clean. So I've got all these. So I might try and use some in the eModels build.
Oh.
I have some plans. There might be some papercraft involved in making these videos.
Yeah, well, I think we should have a bit of fun.
Oh yeah. Well, you guys have heard something already that nobody else has heard yet, so I won't say what it
we'll
is.
save that. We'll save that. Tony's got something for us. Let's come over to Tony.
If you can just about make that out. That's the Revel paints, dry brushed over black primer, I think it was. I'm not too sure if that's
a bit out of focus there, I think.
I need to go back a little bit. I think it's just your camera.
Yeah, it's not the best photo. I'll try and post that now and see if it turns out. But yeah, for dry brushing and things like that, like I've shown with the T800 build, they're absolutely perfect.
Well, going back to the question that was asked earlier about brushing with Tamiya paints, the thing with Tamiya paints is, we sit here and we say you can brush with them, but it's a right pain in the backside.
Mm-hmm.
The one exception is their metallics, things like flat aluminium, chrome, silver, the golds. They are an absolute joy to brush with because they're really nice. If you have to, say you're painting over a raised area like a small raised greebly, and you want to just put a silver top on that, they just go where you want them to. They behave and flow perfectly, so the metallics are brilliant. For some reason, metallic paints often brush quite well.
Yeah, I find that any metallic paints seem to airbrush better. It's just the way I found that they work. Yeah, but
just keep in mind that they will always be thicker than normal paints because of the metallic flake, so you may have to use a bigger nozzle or thin them down even more. When I'm doing a Gundam in a frame, I'll do it black first, then I'll spray gunmetal over it, Tamiya gunmetal, but I'll thin it down so much it's almost water, and I'll build up the colour really slowly in very thin layers in airbrush. Because if you do it too thick, it just gunks up your airbrush in 5 seconds. And it also gives it a much more shiny, polished aluminium or steel look than it actually looks like gunmetal. So, but yeah, metallics are great.
Well, right, I think it's time that we did a giveaway.
Yes. What can I have this week? No, it's not for me, is it?
I think first of all we'll do the giveaway of the mug. Well, look, it's got a tune.
Hang on, I've got one.
Yeah.
Have we got the same pitch?
No.
I haven't got one.
What was that?
You could win a mug this week.
Is that like a One Direction mug or something?
No, it's the popular TV show with the Irish lady.
Oh yes. Well, you see it. What it is. Well.
Well, this week you can win an eModels mug for the Scale Model Enthusiast. There we go. You can win that, and right, you will have in a moment a question. The question this week. Right, we'll do a U-boat related question because I've just finished the U-boat and it's now on the tubes. You've got to have a look.
All this talking means Ted hasn't thought of the question yet.
Yes. Here we go. And from when I say now, I would like the answer to who was the commander of U-552? Go. Who was the commander of U-552?
This is like a pub quiz where everybody dives onto their phones.
Yeah.
Quick Google.
And that would be the final commander, not there were some previous commanders to this one. Who is the commander of U-552?
Yeah, I tried the other day, Ted, just for you. I tried to get my old Xbox and somehow record from it because there's a game called Medal of Honor Allied Assault, and one of the missions takes place you're on a U-boat and you have to storm it and kill everybody and stuff. And I was going to film it so you could see inside a U-boat because it's totally not accurate, but there's a fat chef that throws knives at you and stuff.
No, it wasn't Captain. It wasn't Captain James T. Kirk, and it wasn't Captain Scarlet.
Okay, John Henley says Gunter Prien.
There we go. There's the winner.
Is that the first one straight away? Gunter Prien?
No. It's further down. Orc Boys. It says Eric Top.
Eric Top.
Yep, that's him. So I'll go with that. Yep, Eric Trop. You're the winner this week. Orc Boys, Chris, isn't it? Yeah. I need to send. Yeah. You
have won an eModels Stroop Waffle holder with Stroop Waffles star. Stroop Waffles may not make it all the way to your house.
True. So I need your details to ted@emodels.co.uk and we'll get the guys at eModels to send you out your mug. Well done. Yeah. So we had one or two other questions. We had one or two other answers, such as Captain Scarlet, Captain James T. Kirk.
Barry Gray. There's Barry Gray in his theme tunes again.
Yeah. So.
And amongst all that, I've just posted that photo to the eModels Facebook page.
Right.
Okay,
Start.
yeah, go to
That's
the
on there.
visitors post section and you will see it there.
Hopefully.
Right,
Yeah, I've done it
right.
right.
I've just got lost now. Oh no, like excitement, I've lost where we're at.
Paul
Yeah.
Stewart says John Bon Jovi.
Are we talking beyond? Are we talking the Hollywood U-boat or the real one? The real one was obviously Eric Trop U552.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Good. Yeah. We'll have another question in a moment for the great sticker giveaway.
Yes.
They're very rare. They're very rare, very collected. They seem to become very collectible now. E-model stickers.
I think what we should do is like when I was a kid and used to listen to Piccadilly Radio, they'd always say like, we have a special thing where in the next hour, if we see your car with a Piccadilly 261 sticker in the back window, we'll give you £5. We'll give one person £5. This is like 1970s. So maybe we won't do anything like that, but maybe if you put it in your car and we see you, we'll stop you, pull you over. Ted will have his police hat on. And then he can make you be like, oh, what have I done now? And he'll be like, here's £5 because you have your eModel sticker in your car window.
Excuse me, sir. Can you step out of the car, please?
Oh, do you know, with that earbudding, you don't have like a proper cop now.
Yeah. Hello. Evening all. Right. Yeah. We can have a police-related question next week. Don't mind. Right. Thank you very much. Yeah. As I said, the stickers are going like becoming like Blue Peter badges and Crackerjack pencils, so they're very collectible now. But you can get one from eModels. If you send an order to eModels, you can always ask them to slip you an eModel sticker in. But we do like eModels do like to see you when you've built your model. Put the sticker next to it and send us a picture.
Yeah.
And also that's the. Sorry, we didn't tell you the terms and conditions of winning a mug. You've got to send us a picture with it.
Yeah. Obviously, keep it clean, but you know.
we would like it with your clothes on.
Yeah. Scott Sutherland, our good friend who lives in Orkney, says Gunter Preen was famous for entering Scapa Flow in Orkney to sink HMS Royal Oak.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Because Scott lives in Orkney, so
I'm
just a little bit of local knowledge. If you're local.
The Atlantic. It's an old BBC book. But it's got one or two reference pictures and things in. And it tells us all about the U-boat wars, and it actually relates to some of the stuff in here. It tells us that story of the sinking of the Royal Oak. And I think there's even a picture of the man himself, Eric Trop. There he is on U552. That's the very submarine.
Yeah,
Red Devil.
That exact photograph. If you buy the Revell 172 U-boat kit, you get the decals for U552. And there is I've sent it out to people before. I won't say where it is, obviously, but there is a place that does like some aftermarket parts for it. And one of the things is a sort of PDF of what kind of paints were used on U-boats. And it's a fascinating document. It's got that picture in it. And it goes through the colours of U-boats from like what colour the rivets were and the decks and everything. So that it can resource for U-boat makers.
There's another picture of Eric Trop here. I shall.
Michael Snow's heading off.
All right, Michael. Thank you, Michael.
Yes, thank you for coming in.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Was that a rude picture that you covered up with your thumb then, Ted?
It was a rude picture that I censored because it's a family show.
It's not a good statement if you can censor that with the thumb.
It does show, though. It does show that on these submarines that occasionally there was the opportunity to have a shower.
Yes.
A rather cold, horrible shower, but
yes, with a photographer. Brilliant.
So that was it. Right. What else are we up to? Crikey, we've nearly been an hour anyway, so we haven't much longer to go this evening. So if you've got any questions, fire them in.
Can I do the question for the sticker?
Yeah, go. Of course you can. Go on.
Okay.
Do you want to do it now?
Yeah, do it now, might as well.
Ready for a sticker, folks? If you're ready for a sticker, Fox will give you the question, and it's the answer after I say go, not before.
Yes.
Okay. Go on then. Away you go.
Okay, Space 1999. You knew it was going to be Space 1999. A lot of the action takes place in the main control room of Alpha Moon Base. What was the name of this control big sort of central area? What was it called?
Go. You have to wait for. Yeah, I don't know the answer. So
Making Model said Space. It's Making Model said Space 1999. I bet.
The Space 1999 control room.
Yes. So what was it called? The big main area where they all hung out, and that was where all the action took place.
Dave.
This is for your.
There is a chance that nobody will get this. So everybody's struggling.
Suddenly the chat's just all picked up. It's just
Eric.
nothing for the moment.
HD Models mother.
Paul Stewart just to claim your sticker from last week. Thank you, Paul. Yeah, I've been waiting for that.
Big
Thank
room, says Alan Kelly. His name was also used when they were calling, so it'd be like such and such calling Eagle 2. Come in, Eagle 2. 2 words. Nobody's got it. Nobody's going to get it, are they?
Big Dave.
Rumen Gefahren, says TK. I just asked the worst question ever, didn't I?
Oh, they'll be Googling it. They'll be Googling it.
I don't know, because I don't know how you would Google it.
Mm.
Chris Henderson's there with the first one, main mission control. Or main mission. So Chris Henderson wins a sticker.
Oh, right. Oh, that is the answer, is it?
Main mission or main mission control, yeah.
Well done, Chris
Main
Henderson.
mission calling Eagle 2. Come in, Eagle 2. Alan.
Right. Maybe, yeah.
Alan Carter, the best pilot they had, who crashed one every episode, and somehow they still let him fly an Eagle. I don't know how that works.
I'm just wondering, Chris, how did you know that? Did you Google it, or did you know it, or was it just a guess?
The thing is, if you Googled it, I don't know how you'd Google it. I don't know what you put into Google to get the answer.
Oh.
The main mission.
Yeah.
Okay.
Paul Stewart says the living room. Yeah, that's the mission.
Yes, Carl somehow preemptively knew it was going to be a Space 1999 question. But it's fairly obvious. It's either going to be that or Gunpla, and I can't ask you a Gundam question, can I?
Well done, Chris. You too send us your email your address details to ted@emodels.co.uk, and I'll get you a sticker sent out in the post as soon as I can get it to the post box.
Chicks dig it, trust me.
Yeah. Please don't live on the other side of the world. Postage is getting a bit.
Chris Henderson says he remembered because he's 237 years old.
I watched all the episodes.
Yeah. I've got to tell you though, for anybody out there who's never watched it, go and find it online. You can buy it on DVD or Blu-ray, but or either that or go and find it, because just this first season, because the second season's a bit pants, but just go and watch it. It's so bad, it's great. But the Eagle is the best designed sci-fi ship ever. But it's just, you have to go and watch it. Go and watch it.
Of course, Chris Henderson said he lives in Kendal, so I'll probably post it myself.
You probably drop it off.
I'll drop it off. Yeah, I'll meet you in Newby Bridge.
In fact, just time to meet you on the boat.
Yeah, come on the boat. I'll give you.
Yeah, just pop into the Swan. I'll get you a drink from the bar, and I'll give you a sticker.
A sticker with a free pint of whiskey.
Walk onto the boat and just say, "Stroop waffles, I'll have a pint of sticker, please." And Ted will know that's the secret code phrase.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to get going, gents. Get my dad ready for bed.
Okie dokie.
We're going to call it a night as well, because we've been on here for an hour.
Have we?
An hour of waffling.
Oh, jolly good.
We've done it again. We've got away with it again for another week.
Yes.
Hey.
We've actually increased the viewers. Not gone the other way as I thought it would do, but we've actually increased the viewers and we've kept it going.
Yes.
Thanks. Cliff's just sent me through his email address, his address, so I've got that. Right. I think we've done everything. Oh, we haven't done everything. We haven't had a look at what's in store.
Oh, yes.
But if you're going to go, Tony, you get yourself away and we'll have a
I've got to go.
look at what's in store. Thank you very much.
I'll catch this in the highlights.
Coming in.
Love you, bye.
All right.
Take care.
See you all later. I'll just check that I have got the screen up. The screen. Yeah. All right. Let's go have a look at what's in store. Quickly to end the show on. Where do we share the screen?
Press the
Screen
button.
share.
Press the button.
Press the button. Press the button. It's gone.
Wah!
Oh no.
Wah!
That one.
me.
Right. What have we got this week? Well, the first one we've got is new in store and it's new out. We talked about TACOM before with Tony. This is the F3432 Mark II, Mark II, with a full interior. Now, this was quite a popular vehicle. A lot of these were made and in service in the British Army. I was going to say now.
He just went quiet then. Did your brain just stop?
I researched this not before, so I've gone totally blank. But there were a lot of these about. I
like the colour scheme. It's kind of unusual.
Yeah, it's NATO colour scheme. There's the APCs, armoured personnel carrier, infantry carrying vehicle really, but there are lots of versions of these. There was ambulances made, recovery vehicles, command centres, and all sorts. And I'm not sure if this one with its grills on is actually depicted as a driver training vehicle. And maybe some of you other guys could tell us about that. Mike, I think Mike Mountain said he drove one for a while.
If it's a training vehicle, does that mean it takes ages to move off from the traffic light?
When you go down to, if you ever go down to Bovington, when you go down there, because it's a training area as well, you'll run into these things all the time. They've sort of got the tops cut off them and this mesh over it, and they've got L plates on them.
Carl says he's been paintballing in one of those that was modified.
Yeah,
modified to remove the 50 cal, obviously, I guess.
Yeah, there was loads of them about. Yeah, you'll see them all over. So there's lots of variations and options you can do for them. Scott Sutherland said he was nearly run over by one. Mike Mountain wasn't driving it by any chance, was it?
Yeah. I like the fact that Tacom are getting into their like full interiors, which at first it seems like a really weird thing because you're going to make this massively detailed interior and paint it beautifully like you with your big tank, and then just seal it away and the body never to be seen. But the thing is, you can make it. I'm assuming with these, you can either it'll have the option to, or you can custom it to have things like doors and panels open. But the other thing is, if you've never tried it, there's the option to do a cutaway model, which I've always wanted to try, where you take some of the hull and you cut it away, and then you paint the edge red, and it's got that kind of exploded diagram kind of cutaway look, which you'll get in a lot of museum exhibits and things like that. So it gives you that option, because when you do things like a model like this and it has a full interior, you're basically making a museum quality model. That's what Tacom are doing.
Well, we can see here. We can see here, and it shows a picture of the model made up, probably a pre-production one, and look, the interior, and as you say, the detail on there is museum quality.
I mean, anything like that, because if it was just a shell and nothing inside, it'd just be a model. But with that kind of interior, it takes it to museum quality. So doing cutaways would be a great fun. Just to answer Chris Henderson, Ted's email address is ted@emodels.co.uk. That's ted@emodels.co.uk.
Thank you. Yeah, Tony Blackwell. Yeah, that's it, Tony. Thank you very much. I was just about to type it out, but thank you for that. Yeah, so that's the Tacom. The next one, we're talking about old kits before. This is a pretty old kit in itself, but sort of taking me back to my roots, although I never did fully rigged ships like this. The model ship sort of club that I was in used to call these things dust gatherers, because that's all they did really, unless you kept them in a case. They just gathered dust. But this is the Rebel 196 scale Cutty Sark.
When I was a little kid, someone made one of those and painted it beautifully for me, and I had it for all of a week. I was about 7. I had it for all of a week before I threw an Evel Knievel figure across the room and trashed it by accident. But yeah, that's bringing back a lot of memories, that kit.
Yeah. So 196 scale, it's going to be quite big.
It's about 3 foot long, 2 foot long.
Yeah, it's going to be quite. It's going to be quite a big kit. There's lots of detail in it as well. There's the shot of the sprues, so there's all that. There's the decking. There's the representation of the copper plating on the deck. Lots of stuff. If you could make a nice, if that's your genre, you can make just a nice model out of that. But it's probably getting on in years now. But it takes us back to our roots. We all sort of tried to build a galleon or something at one time.
I mean, this is one of those kits, like we've said before in streams, like, sci-fi builders, there are certain kits you have to build. Military builders, you have to build a Sherman or a Tiger at some point, armor builders. Sci-fi builders, at some point you have to do a space battleship, Yamato and things like that. If you build ships, at some point you have to build a Cutty Sark, because it's kind of the classic model kit ship.
Yeah. That or
the Golden Hind.
Yeah, you've got to build a wooden ship. Chris Williams says 196 question mark. Yeah, it says 196 scale. And strangely enough, 196 scale is quite a popular scale for model boaters. A lot will build in that scale. So you'll probably find that if you wanted to spruce it up a little bit, you'll probably find that there are some aftermarket parts for it as well.
Oh, there'd be tons, because that kit itself must be 30, 40 years old. So, well, I don't know actually, because was there an Airfix one many years ago, or was it always Revell? I don't remember actually.
I can't remember actually.
I thought it was Airfix, but maybe it's a Revell.
Yeah.
But it's probably a good 30 odd years old, that tooling. But the thing
Yeah.
with those kind of kits was where you go out and buy like a model airplane or a model tank, and they might be a bit pants. The old ship kits were usually really, really good quality,
Yeah.
even in the old days, because they had so many intricate parts. Because shipbuilders it was a very precise.
Yeah, well,
like tanks and planes were for the younger builders, but ships were always like for the older, more mature builders. So
if you ever come up to Barrow and visit the hospital, there's a lot of shipyard model kits. Not models. There's a lot of shipyard models in the hospital and also in our dock museum, because shipbuilders from centuries way back before HMS Victory, way back before then, used to produce modelled ships, and probably they were the first model builders as such. But Tony Backwell says, yeah, there's HMS Victory as well. That's out there as well.
But yeah, that's the thing with older kits. All we've said about older kits tonight, the thing about ships is often the older kits for ships are actually very good, because it's always been a kind of class aside, because they've never been intended for kids or amateur builders. They've always been intended for the more hardcore builders, because they're such complex kits. They're beautiful.
Mike Mountain said he's off. He's got to go, folks. Thanks, Mike. Thanks
for coming in, Mike.
Yeah, see you again. We're just finishing these off.
To answer Phil East, yes, it was a Wind Up Evil Knievel stunt bike figure. Yes.
For you diorama makers, I'm looking for some of these in 1/48 scale for the submarine. I really need to do some research. But yeah, if you're making dioramas, it's little things like this that sort of put the finishing touches to it. Mini art 1/35 scale beer bottles and wooden crates.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they could sort of be for any. They're not really dated, these sort of things, so they could sort of be for any sort of era. Just sort of things for sticking on the back of your tank, some stowage, or if you're making dioramas.
Are the bottles actually clear?
It looks like they are. I've just got the bigger picture there of them.
That's awesome. That looks really, really good.
Green bottles, black bottles, yeah. And if they're obviously separate from the kit, yeah, you can use separate for bottles, yeah.
Yeah, they'll be just clear plastic, because then you can paint them to be brown or clear brown, or using clear paints.
I'm not sure, but I think they come with a massive decals.
Yeah.
So you need to put all the decals on all the bottles.
God, if only the transit van I was built was 1/35 scale, I'd just fill it with crates of beer. But if they've got 1/24 scale, I will get a load and then fill the back of the transit with crates of beer. Yeah. It would seem appropriate.
Yeah, and moving on, we're coming up to the summer holidays now, and just something that you could perhaps get the kids. I always try to find something that you could build at the bench for the kids. And for $8.99, this is what we were talking about before, these brilliant little starter kits that you could hone your skills on. And for this one, it's the Jet Provost, a little training aircraft. Not sort of particularly sort of overcomplicated, so you could put it together with the kids while you're building at one side of the bench. The kids are building at the other. It's got the paint and that with it, so they're not having to dip into your sort of stock. They keep you occupied over the school holidays. I think Scotland's already broken up.
Except for viewers in Scotland.
So yeah,
I mean, this is what we were saying about Airfix kits earlier on. Some of their older toolings that you probably won't get away with nowadays for most model makers, they're perfect in these kind of starter sets. And I think Airfix knows that, and that's why they've started doing these with some of the older kits. Some of the older 1/72 planes and cars, they can release them as like sub £10 starter kits with a few paints and glues, because that's what they're perfect for. They're dead simple. They're not complicated at all. Yeah. And they're great for beginner builders who just want to have fun with it and play. A kid who just wants to have a toy at the end of it, or something introducing. That's what they're great for.
I know that Easter coming up, and some kids these days, the relatives, instead of giving them an Easter egg, will give them some cash towards an Easter egg. Yeah. So another option, instead of an Easter egg, buy them something that they can keep, something that is not just for Easter.
Yeah. Frankie Goes to Hollywood says that one's perfect. This one's perfect for him.
Yeah, so paint your Jet Provost in Easter colours. Paint it with bunnies all over it. But that's for the kids. Something for the kids, or something that you could just stick together if you wanted just to try your airbrushing skills. Yeah. Just as a paint pig, and away you go.
Yeah.
And finally, the last one is I've lost it. It was the eModels mug, but I've lost it.
While you're finding
hang on,
it, Tony
mug.
Blackwell says Tony Blackwell says that these Cutty socks first release was about 1960 or so.
It will have been. It will have been
So
really
that's 50
that
odd years. That's a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, a simple search has brought up the eModels mug, $6.95, and you could have one too if unfortunately you didn't win it tonight. And it tells you down here, if you actually scroll down, rather than just adding it to the basket, well, you could add it to the basket, but then scroll down, and if you click in-store pickup, they will send it to you free, free postage, and next week you could have an eModels mug sat on your bench and join us. So that's it. So I'll stop sharing. I'll come back.
Just for people who are wondering how big the eModels mug is, that's the eModels mug. If the camera will switch to me, is the camera switched to me? I can't see on my end. Have you got it set to you?
Try that now.
Is the camera switched to me?
Yep.
I don't know because I can't see what you can see.
Yep.
That's the eModels mug, and there's me stood next to it.
That's how big they are.
Yeah, so it's at least 2 swimming pools in there. That's a lot of coffee. That coffee will keep you going for at least an hour. Keep me going for about 45 minutes.
When the weather gets hot, you can swim in it.
Yeah.
Right, and it's now 10:10. It's past my bedtime, and I've gone out of focus.
That's because it's past your bedtime. You get soft on the edges.
I turn it. It's past the witching hour. The wife will be wondering, why am I not in bed yet? I've had my cocoa and stroop waffle.
Oh yeah. I've not got any stroop waffles, Ted. I've not got any stroop waffles at all.
I think I've still got a supply that I've hidden from Skylar that I got from TK.
Good job she doesn't watch the internet. Or she'd know
that. Right, so I think it's about time to wind it up. We've had some chat tonight. We've had an amazing visit from Tony, who hopefully, if things are settling down for him, might be able to join us for some future live streams. And it's time to call it a night. So thank you very much, Fox.
My pleasure,
thank
as
you
always.
to everybody else. I think I've got everybody's addresses for the winners.
Scott Sunderland says he's got stroop waffles. Well, we're happy for Scott because he's been trying to get them for weeks out on Orkney to get them.
Yeah, Scott, don't eat them all at once. Yeah, enjoy them.
Well, no, because they're about that tall. If you put them all together, you never get any more.
Yeah, because if they can only come across on the ferry once a week or something like that, you have to stock up. Yeah. Or do Amazon do them airdrop now via them drones?
I don't think a drone would survive the journey from the mainland to Orkney for more than 10 yards before it got blown to like Norway or somewhere.
Yeah. Right. We're going to have a look and see you all around on the Facebook pages on eModels, on the eModels Facebook page, and don't forget the website as well. We've just had a look at. If it's in stock, it'll be on the website. If they haven't got it and you want it, drop them a line on the contact page and see if they can get it for you. And
Ted, somebody did ask way at the start, and I apologise to whoever it was. If I can't remember where the question is now. They asked if they sold specific houses and things for dioramas, and I meant to say the answer. We can't tell you directly because we don't actually work for eModels, but drop them an email or drop Ted an email, or and he can find out for you. Or if they haven't got them, they can try and get them in.
Yeah, if you've anything that's sort of sprung to mind after we've gone off air, you can always email it to me at ted@emodels.co.uk, and I'll try and answer some questions. Anything relating to stock, drop the guys a message on the contact details on the web page. We'll look at you for all that. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us tonight. We'll look forward to seeing you all again. So remains for me to say, so it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
Good night, everyone. Bye. Keep waving.